Good evening. Sorry, just take a minute. I just want to know if you can even just kind of say it out loud. What's a word that you think of when you see this picture? Anyone?
Prison.
Sad? Prison? Pretty, you know, what anybody would think. And then? What's the term that you think when you see this? Well, actually, I'm sorry, you're just off over in this corner. You hit the nail on the head. It's separation. Today, a big thing that I learned about growing up in South Florida was the difference with how important it is with people in jail today as opposed to being separated from their children, and it's not something that daily we see on the news because it is so common that it's not something that anybody really, I don't think about it on the daily about the sad children walking around. Today I'm going to tell you about a few things. I'm going to tell you about how under-recognized the problem is in our society, some of the effects, long-term and short-term, that it has on our society and the people that it's involved in, and what exactly we can actually do to take action, because it is something that we should be focusing more on. What I am looking at is, it's a group called Children of Promise. It's based out of New York City. I actually had a friend's cousin that was involved in it, and that's how I got to know them. I don't contribute to it, to tell you the truth, but I do keep up with them, and I know a few of the representatives. They're also known as CPNYC, short. CPNYC stated on their website that they understand that the cycle of integrational involvement in the criminal justice system can be broken if social, economic, and educational inequalities are addressed. Something we all take for granted, education, you know, we've always talked about it. The problems are more readily available than we see because they're not on the news. It's not the biggest tragedy in the world, but it does affect our society as a whole, and that's not something we see, because all these people that are in jail are going to have kids, and they're more likely to go to jail, which you'll hear exactly how much, but they are so much more likely to go to jail if their parents had been in jail. I believe it's 70% of people that are incarcerated, their children are 70% more likely to go to jail than anybody else. I actually have a close friend who I said I grew up with in South Florida. Both his parents were drug addicts, went to jail at 2 different times, so they would come out, and thank God you either take one way or the other, I like to think, but he took the high road so far. And he's hopefully not in that 70%, but that's why this is so important to me. Because these kids don't have the opportunity for guidance, and a lot of people overlook this as an important societal problem. Because we also view it as something that's only unique to someone who is involved in it. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice stated nationally 7.3 million children have at least one parent in jail or prison, and this was the fact that I was telling you about as well. Sadly, 70% of these kids are doomed to follow in the same footsteps as their parents, becoming imprisoned at some point in their lives. I don't know about you, but to me that is like an insane statistic. 70% I think is huge if we're looking at 7.3 million children, so 70% of those. Personally, I believe we need to help the kids affected, because we can change their futures. We can change the futures of, we pay taxes to keep people in jail. It sounds horrible, but we do. And it's not only changing the futures for these kids, and they could be, you know, the next Einstein, they could be the next this, but if they're not shown the right way and they don't have any positive people in their life or anybody helping them, then they really don't have a hope. We need to help these kids affected by their parents' detrimental decisions, and donating our $70 actually does help a lot to the Children of Promise NYC. The reason being I chose this specific one, besides that I kind of had a connection to it, was there's a little bit smaller scale. They still help other people outside their spectrum, but with the $70, I actually spoke to a representative. We can help a lot more to specific kids, and it's not just one kid or this kid. They have so many programs that are involved. Summer programs, school programs, guidance, people that just come in for the day, and it can go in so many different ways and help them in so many different aspects. To me, the worst part about going to jail is the waterfall of the line. It helps and hurts the people underneath them. The Center for Children and Family Well-Being said having an incarcerated parent has become one of the most common and significant public health concerns for U.S. children, more common than autism, maltreatment, or juvenile diabetes. I didn't ever picture, putting those two together and comparing any of that, but to me that was a crazy statistic. Long-term and short-term effects are substance abuse, academic difficulties, criminal activities, and incarceration. So if you think about it, that really is affecting society. Close your eyes. Yeah. So, this is a developmental graph that I found, and I think the biggest thing was a lot of the ones I found online didn't show the difference of what happens from, birth to a large span of time. It showed, well, this happens, or this happens opposed to people that are incarcerated versus not, but this shows age 0 to 18 years old. S2S, which is actually a very well-known website that supports not only this cause and other ones, says, law enforcement lacks the training and protocols which endangers the children's future well-being. I always thought that law enforcement would be the #1 thing that would prevent this or help these kids, prosper. Apparently, other people think differently, and that's why I think programs like this can help so much, because you have more of a one-on-one. CPNYC provides services to over 200 children of prisoners and their families each year through its after-school, summer camps, and mentoring mental health programs. Small steps go a long way. It helps them feel safe and nurtured. They have 24-hour crisis services, and the one big thing was with our $70, we have a choice of where our money goes. You can either just donate online and it goes to a broad aspect of them, or you can call and donate over the phone, and if you do that, you can pick exactly what you want it to help. That is pretty much it, and I would love if we donated to them.